So tonight I'm making a baked salmon. I already preheated the oven to about 375. Put some oil, I put some olive oil on the bottom of the pan, and then it's going to keep the salmon skin from sticking to the pan. I'm using this deli salmon. For me, in our grocery store, the deli salmon's a little bit cheaper than the prepackaged salmon, so I go ahead and buy this one, even though salmon is pretty expensive. But today the salmon and steelhead trout were about the same price, so I went ahead and got the salmon. Sometimes I'll buy steelhead trout because they look the same and the taste is pretty much the same. So most people can't tell the difference. Some people can. And sometimes the steelhead trout's a little bit cheaper. So if they're cheaper, I'll go ahead and get that one. But today I got the salmon. So I'm going to make a little sauce to put on top of it to kind of cook into the salmon, get some flavor. I have some olive oil and some minced garlic. I'm going to add some basil pesto and a little bit of stone ground mustard. Maybe a very little bit. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead, even though I have some minced garlic in there, I'm going to go ahead and shake some garlic onto the salmon. I'm going to put some onion powder in the mix, and I'm going to shake a little bit onto the salmon as well. I'm going to put a little bit of cayenne in the mix, and I'm going to shake a little bit on the salmon. And this is just really light. I'm not feeling for very spicy food tonight, so just a little bit of cayenne. And bought a fresh thing of crushed red peppers, so I have to open that. I'm going to add a little bit of crushed red peppers to the sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of paprika to the sauce. Just a little bit. Even though I put the basil pesto in there, I'm going to put a little bit of Italian seasoning as well. Some cracked Himalayan pink salt. And some cracked black peppercorn. Okay. And so let's see. I'm going to check the consistency of the sauce, if it's the right consistency that I'm looking for. It looks pretty good. You could make it a little bit thicker if you want, or I guess thinner, runny, but I think this consistency looks pretty good. Now I'm going to kind of pour it over the salmon, and I'm going to spread it out. It looks like I might need a little bit more of the mix. Let's see how it spreads. I don't really measure this, but that's probably about an ounce or an eighth of a cup of olive oil, maybe a teaspoon of pesto, and then a pinch of, probably a tablespoon of minced garlic, a pinch of garlic powder, onion powder, about a teaspoon or less of the stone ground mustard, salt and pepper to taste, and if you about a teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. And then if you like your food a little bit spicy, add the seasoning as what suits you. And so now I'm just going to put this in the oven and let this cook. I'm going to scoop a glass of this and make sure that I'm using all of my seasoning efficiently. Okay. And so it's going to cook probably for about, 15, 20 minutes. I never time it. What I do is I wait until it smells really good in the house, and then I'm like, oh, it's ready. So that's my timing. And so far it's worked. It works really well for me. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven. And check it when it smells really good and let you know how it tastes. Okay, and so now the salmon started smelling good, so I'm gonna take it out. And that looks good too. Looks like it's all completely cooked. Now I'm going to serve a little bit of the salmon onto a plate. Typically what I do is I kind of cut it, I guess, with a spatula or something, and then I can kind of scoop it off of the tail. Sometimes it comes off pretty easily. Still has a little bit of tail on my plate, but it's okay. I mean, not the tail, the skin. Of course the salmon is on my plate, but the skin is on my plate. And so now I'm going to taste this real quick. Let's get some of the sauce. It's really good. I feel like Phil Rose with them. Like, oh, this is so delightful. It's really tasty. It really brings out a good flavor of the salmon, and you don't taste all those details of the basil and stuff, but it tastes real nice and herby. Like it has a lot of herbs in it, and it has good salt and pepper and a little bit of spice. So I think it's really good. So it didn't really take that long to prepare, and then while it bakes, you could just take care of other things, and then come back in here and have a delicious salmon. The salmon itself is about $10 a pound right now. So this is a pretty pricey meal. I'd have like potatoes or asparagus or broccoli or something with it. So it'll probably make it, for a family of 5, I have to buy 2 pounds. So it'd be about $20. So it'd probably make it about $5 to $6 per person, which gets to be kind of a pricey meal for a home cooked meal. But you're having salmon and potatoes and asparagus for $5 or $6 a person instead of $15 or $16 a person. So, and this is delicious, and you can cook it to your preference. So like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.